Welcome back to a bigger, better conversation. Of course, it's a month of love. And your A team is back at 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock. Do not change that dial, by the way. 10 o'clock. Simon.
Yes.
Welcome, guys. Man.
Hey, thank you. It's nice. It's nice seeing you. I'm a year older. I'm a year older, like legit. I'm a year older.
Oh yeah, it was your birthday.
Yes, it was. Yes, I'm
When
celebrating.
was it?
He's
Yes.
a jolly good fellow. He's a
Okay.
jolly good fellow. Isn't he a jolly
Yes.
good fellow?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so
And
much.
no one can deny.
Thank
And
you
no
so
one
much.
can deny. And no one can deny.
I don't know the song. I'm just allowing you
He's
to
a
sure.
jolly good fellow.
He's a jolly
good
good
fellow.
fellow.
He's a jolly good fellow. And nobody can deny. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much.
Some words.
Proud of you.
So, Simon,
Yes, sir.
I think it has been a year, and we took a long break. By the way, I'm CEO Charles Otieno. Welcome to our big show. It's Let's Be Real.
And I'm being real, loving myself this February and making the finest wine, Samantha wines.
Yes, indeed.
And I am Maria. Obviously, this Valentine, I'm not wearing red. I'm putting it out there.
Huh?
Yes.
What happened? Who broke your heart?
No, I'm not broken.
What's
I just
wrong?
feel like
What's wrong?
I need to be loved 365 days a week.
Hey.
Not just on Valentine's Day, and I'm making the demands. I missed you guys so much. By the way, it was a very deserved break. But at the same time, we are not going to lie. We missed the show.
Oh.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
That is true. And I'm Simon, and I'm the newly birthed Simon in this new year. We're gonna still give you that rebirth energy straight to your eardrums, even through your eye, through your screens right there. Yes, we're gonna creep into your thoughts this year. We're not joking. It's not right, CEO.
It's right, but your friend, Donald Trump, by the
Oh
way.
yes, the guy, the legend.
When you're in America, did you expect Donald Trump to be elected as a president?
I was in Obama's time. But then never ever, because he was doing apprentice and everything.
Apprentice,
Yeah,
yeah.
apprentice and everything. So he was not even that never even mentioned.
So now the gentleman has decided that Haiti mission, which Kenya is the lead force, there's no funding for it. He's decided there's no funding for USAID across the globe. He's decided that he'll tax the Canadians, the Mexicans, he'll tax the Chinese, he'll tax each and everybody, and there's no foreign aid. He's making America great again. What is your thoughts?
Honestly, here's what I would say.
Yes.
Honestly, I would say Donald Trump is the harsh parent that Africans need. It's the harsh parent that Africans need. And the truth is, because all of us Africans have been walking up to a lot of first world countries, like we're under, we're constantly asking them for like breast. We're like, nah, please feed us. We now need to now grow up and actually look for hard food that we can actually feed ourselves as Africans, and actually now realize that indeed, hey, we can get our resources. We actually need to put our things in line and actually realize, hey, the US is not here looking out for our best interests. We need to look out for ourselves. Sadly, that's the truth. It reaches a point in your life where you actually need to grow up even as Africans and say, you know what, it's time to start screaming, nah, and actually start saying, you know what, we can actually now feed ourselves. We know how to get a spoon and feed ourselves and swallow the food, and you know what, go out and also get our own food. Even that's primarily, even I think, even being honest, we actually kind of need this, because we always have been getting the US the aid in many aspects. Then of course, there's always mismanagement of all these funds, even when they come here, in so many ways. Haven't you heard this, Dr. C?
Yeah, so for me, I'm just like, number one, there is a new world order. And it is forming right in front of our eyes. It started, and Trump is going to accelerate this new world order. The fact that, USAID was so insidiously what America used to control the world. It's not about the mightiness of the army. It's the soft power. I think USAID was the soft power of America. And the fact that it is no longer there, and I'm sorry, there are livelihoods that are being affected, but I agree with you. We, especially Africa, we need to sort ourselves out. How did we take Kenya as an example? 1 million Kenyans, the health of 1 million Kenyans who rely on the
ARVs.
ARVs. How did we find ourselves in a position that a foreign power is actually in charge of that in form of aid? So we need to reorganize ourselves. Obviously, people are going to suffer. Yeah, we are going to feel the pain, but they are called growing up pains. We're going to feel it. It's a new world order, and I think it's the beginning of the fall of America. We don't know, yes, because I have seen, I saw something as if Africa, is it ECOWAS or, they've issued a statement that all the American they have the armed forces within Africa, they need to pack up and go. Because why are they here? There's no development aid, there's nothing, they just need to pack up and go. So I believe it's the beginning of the fall of America. But the world needs that. There's a new world order, and we're going to see it.
New world order.
Yeah, new world order. But I feel like we were so privileged at some point. It's really hard for them to take it away. So, yeah.
Privilege,
it
begging
like
your neighbor.
Free ARVs. Now, imagine right now in Kenya, we do not afford so many things, but we are going to be buying ARVs. And as if that's not enough, a lot of livelihoods are going to be affected by the fact that all this is going, and a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, their families are going to suffer. Yes, I get it. Trump wants to make a huge difference. But at the same time, we will not ignore the fact that we as Kenyans, yes, I know we were not supposed to get here, and this is where it's just like a child. When you train them that you are privileged, you can get all this, and this taking it away has to be painful. I know we have to accept. And that is something that I'm telling myself, it's easier if Africans accept earlier. But at the same time, it's more like it has just abruptly, everything at once. How are these people who relied on USAID, the ARV patients, how are they going to get to a point where by now we are used to having our own? Like we can buy our medicine, we can take care of ourselves. In as much as Trump is making these decisions, yes, I know we don't pay tax in America, so it's not our right. But I still feel bad that he's doing that.
Theo?
So I think Trump is working very hard to make China great.
I see what
He's
you're
really
saying.
working very hard to make China great. And I'll tell you why. When Trump signed the first executive order to get out of WHO, China said we will actually plug the gap. So that is taken by the Chinese. The biggest thing Americans sell to the world is pop culture, is through their aid, is through their language, is through how they manage the whole world using that money. The moment they cut it, their influence will be gone totally. And the Chinese are waiting on the wings, first of all, to plug all those holes so that the Chinese influence will be on the rise. The Mandarin will be one of the biggest things in the world coming in the next world order. Because you remove USAID under PEFA. PEFA was signed under George Bush to provide medical aid and vaccinations, apart from HIV, to Africa and to people who are underprivileged. It doesn't mean that the Chinese will not plug that gap. It doesn't mean that the Chinese do not have that money to send that money to these areas where the Americans are pulling out. So the way Dr. Sia said, Americans will have to have, first of all, a hard look at themselves and ask themselves, did we elect Trump to really, really cause havoc in what has been working in the world? It is not good to give us the HIV drugs because we can actually buy. By the way, African governments can buy. It is not such a big budget for African governments. That 1 million is just supposed to be factored into the budget. They'll buy the ARVs to the public. We buy, even when we talk about the vaccines, we always have, we meet half of the amount. The Americans pay, but we also pay. So it's not 100%. So it is crazy that they think, and that's why I'm saying Trump is causing a lot of chaos. Then you move to undocumented persons in the USA. You cannot remove all the undocumented people in the USA because, one, they will lack that workforce, 100%. All those buildings which people are working on, by the next 1 or 2 months, they'll realize that they've deported too many people and there's no one who is ready to take up those jobs. So Trump has walked in.
We shall export.
Trump has walked in.
We shall export in
But
the right way.
theirs are moving from here, then go and work there.
You see now, Trump does not want people to go to America, number one. So now, he has not realized, and you can see the way he's flip-flopping already. He said the Canadians must pay tax. He realized, Canadians will impose a higher tax for them as well. So the executive order was cancelled. But also, America is a democracy. You cannot walk into that space and decide on your own unilaterally, because these things have been, there's legislation behind it. You can just walk and say, we'll kick off USAID, we will not support the WHO, we will not support the Haitians that kick off the, because there are many countries who will come together to support the Haiti mission.
The only pushback I'll give you is this. Influence is given in many different ways, and executive orders, they actually can give him, there's some power he actually has, and he actually does have it because he has Congress on board, even he has many judges that he's been set up. The other issue is this. When it comes to what Trump is doing, he's being very tactical. Even when you're saying he's rolling back, these are leveraged things that he's actually done. What has happened, even the Canadian issue, even the issue with even Mexico, what is put out there versus what's actually done, they're two different things. What's happened is the tariff issue was now him placing the tariffs and everything, saying that I'm going to do the tariff. You know why he rolled back? Did you see the statement that Canadians they put out afterwards?
Yes,
yeah, they rolled back because they agreed to the terms and conditions that he had actually said.
Yes.
He had said to them. He's actually getting what he wants. He's not actually, yes. He's, no, TikTok, he got credibility because he said that I'm the one who brought it back. So he got that, yeah, I'm the one who brought it back, so he can now gain the points on the sense that I'm the one who's doing these things for you guys. And on the issue of even donors and everything, he's pushing back on the whole democratic narrative of that now. You guys are pushing democratic narratives. What will happen and what you'll probably see is this. USAID will actually be funded again, but you know what will happen? It will not be the democratic or liberal narratives that are actually pushed. It's other narratives that he wants, the conservative narratives, the family narratives, the whole household narrative, the whole we don't deal with transgenderism, with like male female genders narratives. That will be pushed mostly, and not necessarily the other narratives that will be more on the liberal side of things. So you have to also note that this is a game of tactical push and pull. And you have to also note this. This is not the same Trump that you guys saw in 2016. This guy who now knows that it's politics. So you play it and allow you to just mumbo jumbo. How many things have been on the news highlights because of he will rush the news. You're talking about tariffs today, I'll hit you with this. Or you're talking about this today, I'll hit you with this. You will not be able to keep up. And even as Kenyans now, the main thing I would even say is let's learn how to actually even become self-sufficient. Even as Africans, we cannot be going out there with a hand out because every nation will speak on their own agendas.
And anyway, we don't have a big problem if they withdraw the aid. The Burkinabe President Traore has paid off the debt from Burkina Faso. They are debt-free in 6 months.
What is the worst that can happen if Africans decide that we are not taking charity?
National security. Which is brings me to our next point of discussion,
yes,
national security.
Yes.
So apparently, not apparently, as a matter of fact, the Burundian government has fired 4 medical doctors because they resigned after, the doctors there went on strike. I think Kenyans are familiar with these doctors going on strike. And so they were going on strike because they are being paid $170 per month for working in public hospital, in private hospitals. And now they demanded for more, and they were fired. And the reason given to be fired was they are a danger to the national security. Now, to anchor this conversation, I actually went to check what constitutes
national security? what does it?
Honestly, yeah, I had to go and check. You know, we can just yap and say, oh, that's unfair. I went to check. A threat to national security can include any action or event that could significantly harm the country's territorial integrity, sovereignty, political stability, economic prosperity, or safety of its citizens. Yeah? So there's quite a bit you can actually just check. But I also checked, these days it's so easy. I checked, can doctors strike constitute a national... I just want us to anchor this conversation.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, a doctor strike can be considered a threat to national security, particularly in situations where a large-scale strike significantly disrupts access to essential healthcare, potentially leading to a public health crisis and putting vulnerable populations at risk. However, the severity of this threat depends on the context and scale of the strike. Let's discuss.
See, what do you think about doctors going on strike now? That's
It's
security.
their right. Like, if they are not satisfied with their working environment, they can strike and ask for more. I don't see it as a problem. Like, every other department in this country can strike, in any country. Like, teachers can strike. Why is it that doctors are not given the same privilege to enjoy their rights? Like, I need more pay. I'm not getting enough pay. Times are hard. The economics have changed. So I don't think they were national security. I think there was just, that is just a way of them being shut down, because you can use a constitution, yes, on that issue, but do they really not have the right to just state their minds and their hearts what they want? Because I don't think they should be arrested for asking for more pay.
Government is a very interesting institution. You see, the thing is, when you're employed by the government is also making rules on how you will actually even execute even your roles and your responsibilities. And then they'll even execute going further and say that this is even the realm in which that you actually even exercise even those quote-unquote freedoms that you say that you have. You say you have the freedom to actually even go out there and picket and everything, but now these are the rules that we actually even set for you for those freedom of expression. And what happens is, when it comes to the cases of even doctors, when you're dealing with the matters of life and death and health, what the government would do is, in case that they don't want, or they don't have necessarily the funds, or they don't even put that as a priority to even finance you, or even to even cater to what your demands are, they will put the hammer on your head and remind you, who is your boss? Sit down, be humble, because I'm the one who pays your check. And you're exercising those things within the realms of my jurisdiction. And you also, you can pick it, but now the key thing is now where the unions come in. You see now with the unions and other things, that job things, that those now are actually now set up now, rules in which now your rights do not get overshadowed or even stepped on by the person who has employed you, be it even the government or even the private institutions. That's now where it comes, that side of things. So if I don't hear anything from those unions who are actually been stepping up, and one of the laws even they're actually now governing unions, so they can protect even the well-being of the doctors, that's when they need to be speaking the most. I would even call it, this is an abduction by the government, of that particular government. They're abducting the doctors, so they're arresting them. They're abducting the doctors, and then they're saying that indeed, you have done something wrong, come. But you see now, this particular, it's Burundi, right? At least them, they have given matters of national security, while other countries are here, people are being abducted, and they don't know.
But what is the difference between that and slavery? Because now I know I will just work for you, you will get what you want, but I don't have a right to speak what I want. What is the difference?
No, you have some unions, you can speak what you want.
But the unions keep quiet.
But you know, even in Kenya, in Kenya, I think even the doctors really had to fight to get themselves unionized. And I think everything has to be taken in context. If I'm not wrong, Burundi has been a little bit unstable politically. It has been unstable politically. And can you imagine 1 million Kenyans marching because they cannot get ARVs? Is that national security? You know, I took up from you when I said it's national security. If 1 million Kenyans can march and say we want ARVs, that is a matter of national security. You understand? If you have people falling off, just dying because of health, it's national security. And it has to be categorized in the same space as the army, the uniformed police. That's why they are not allowed to go on strike. They cannot even, they are not unionizable. And I think so that Kenya was in this space where this, we have certain freedoms that we as actually sometimes as Kenyans, we may not even really realize that even the doctors allowed themselves to, they were allowed to unionize. Yeah. So, because medical provision, can you imagine if people started just dying off and falling off like that? And because doctors have gone on strike, and actually it is shown. Somebody told me, one of my friends working in a medical profession, that actually if they give you the real numbers of how many women die in childbirth, like there is no girl who's going to get pregnant. Okay, they will, but women will refuse to give birth. The reason they don't give you the full numbers is because it can scare people. It's a national security. If you tell people, like for example, out of 10 women who went to give birth, 7 of them died in these. Those numbers are always censored. Why?
Anyway,
because of national security.
Dr. C, let me first, see you before, let me ask Dr. C. Dr. C, now we agree that doctors are very important. The way you always say that all careers are the same. Doctor's career is...
No, we are not talking about doctors' careers being important. My husband is a doctor and he's trained like over 1,000 medical doctors in this country. And so I'm aware of the important role the doctors play. We are talking about national security. So that's why I wanted to anchor the conversation. Yeah? Because this country has been unstable. And they've seen what has happened to Kenya. They're our neighbors. Yeah?
What I would tell you, Dr. C, is that first of all, Burundi politically is a very poor state. It is the poorest country in Africa, economically. The poorest country in Africa is Burundi.
For real?
The poorest country economically are Burundians. Burundians survive on scavenging from DRC.
So these are poor people problems.
So I'm coming to it.
Okay,
I'm coming to it.
go ahead.
I'm coming to it.
Yeah.
So what happens is that the government, and that's why you see many Burundians in Kenya here selling tea. They are very rich when they come here. They sell tea and they foreign exchange to their country. Now, what has happened is that the Burundian government has been a very reclusive government. A reclusive government is a government which does not allow people to exercise their rights and freedoms and does not give opportunity to its people. Why? Because the successive Burundian leaders have not come up with a proper method of either engaging in large-scale farming so that they can feed their people. So now, that's why you see when they have 6 doctors, by the way.
Huh?
So they said those 6 doctors are the ones who are on strike, mainly. They
only have 6 doctors in the whole country.
No, they have more, but the ones who have been arrested are 6. So it is not...
There are 5.
Yeah, but now the national security is when everyone else, if there are 20,000 doctors and all are arrested. I'm supporting these doctors on strike because 170 in Burundi, by the way, if you earn $170, you are a very rich person. The Congolese army earn 10,000 equivalent of shillings per month. Congolese
in
army.
Kenya? Kenya shillings?
Kenya, equivalent of Kenya shillings.
So that's how many dollars? Like $100?
Yes, Congolese army.
So why are they asking for a raise if they know there's no money in the country?
They should apply and leave. There was a time a lot of Kenyan doctors left.
They can't leave because they will not be allowed to leave because that country does not have any other. They can't train more doctors. No one will go there to work. Because
But the borders are porous. You just walk out. You don't need to say anything.
Well, just go. Take a trip with your family, disappear
Where?
forever.
Tell them where.
where will you take a trip?
Come to Kenya and sell tea.
Who told
With
you?
those safari trucks.
They can't.
Let them come to Kenya and sell tea.
So what has happened is that in Burundi, there are categories of jobs which are registered by the government, and the government does not allow you to travel. You must, even in Kenya, if you are PS, you can't just walk out of this country. There must be orders of how you get out. So even in that country, doctors and those important individuals cannot just decide with their family today. You must get written permission to get out. You can't just walk out.
Slavery.
That is, and that's how it's gonna be. Well, hold up on that, George. We're gonna talk even about love in a few minutes, right after this break, okay?
Welcome back, viewers, and I hope you have your glass of Samantha wine. You know, roses are red,
Violets are blue.
violets are blue, but wine is red. And we have offers for you, Samantha wine. And this time, we're trying to marry Simon off
It's about time.
to the best person who will write the best love letter. And I'm the one who is receiving all the love letters, and I'll matchmake him.
Yeah, it's about time. I need love.
Yeah.
Now for them to find the right one.
The birthday boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Maria, you're the author, and what do you have for us?
Oh, wow. Before that, maybe I have a new book coming, but that's a story for another time.
Okay.
Let me first talk about this lady called Gloria. Yes. You know, sometimes it's really hard to take sides, especially in a situation like this one. Gloria was traveling from Lagos. Is it Lagos or Lagos? Lagos or Lagos?
Lagos, yeah.
Lagos, oh yeah.
Doesn't matter, tomato.
So, she was traveling, and when she realized that she does not have the right visa, she decided to throw tantrums. My problem is not the tantrum she was throwing, like saying, oh no, this is wrong, please assist. No, she threw a sanitary towel and started yelling.
A used one.
Imagine yelling and acting as though she's the one actually who is a victim. She would have checked her papers, but that's not important. And after even they helped her to get to her trip using London, she was still yelling while trying to catch a flight. No, that is wrong. It's really hard to take side. What do you think?
Actually, I saw this girl. She's relatively young, perhaps in her early 30s. Yeah, and the fact that she threw that sanitary pad, and I'm not even just looking at, so who did she wrong, whatever. My medical part of me just got activated. So she obviously perhaps has anger management issues. Perhaps she could be, she could be that, but also the sanitary pad, I'm just thinking perhaps she was having very severe
Cramps.
PMS, like, very severe, where you have that hormonal imbalance. And actually, you know, before I came, I went to read the story of this girl who burned down 2 family homes. And she even locked her mother inside and just burned her in. And she was arrested. She was I think she was around about 18 there. And just waited until she turned 18, and then she was actually arrested and she was jailed for quite some time. And her father is the only person who decided to look at, this is not just a criminal thing. What could lead somebody to really behave like that? And he went and studied and worked with a lot of people. And now, actually, you could use extreme PMS as a defense in court. Yes, extreme hormone. You know, when women experience the hormonal imbalances that come around because of the monthly period, it could lead to that kind of behavior. For somebody who is just completely normal, because when you say bipolar is actually a mood swing where there are periods where you're just extremely low, and then there are periods when you're extremely high. And in this time of extreme high, you're not like really violent, you're actually very creative, they are very successful. They don't become like violent people. But this particular behavior, she may have been experiencing an episode of extreme, maybe she has anger management issues, maybe her thyroid needs to be checked. And I'm not like dishing out a prescription. I'm just saying she needs to see medical, but also the issue of extreme PMS. We need to start looking at it because that was not normal. I don't want to say who was right, who was wrong. I'm just like, could we look at her well-being? And how does it translate also to other women?
Here's the issue I have about this. Tantrums have to be used properly.
That is not a tantrum.
Here's the thing. I'm about to go further on that. Tantrums have to be used properly. If that tantrum that she actually blew out in the airport, tantrums have to be used properly. When they misused, then they had to disregard. Actually, she was deported back to Kenya. She was never even
Nigeria.
Yeah, you do? Nigeria. She never even reached the destination, by the way. And tantrums had to be used strategically. The tantrums you can just throw like, why am I neglected? What was that? You can actually now throw a tantrum a little bit here and there. But now you actually you need to reel it back and actually learn how to use it strategically, because there are times to shout. There are times to raise your voice. There are times to escalate the issue. There comes now a time for that. You have to do it strategically for it to be respected. When you said about the issue about extreme, hormonal imbalance, even the time, or even women have different times of month, that one I understand. But that is never an excuse. And the reason why I'll say this, and I'm even going to go, and the reason I'll say on this is this. You have this every month and you recognize even your hormone imbalance every single month.
Some people,
but here's the thing.
Extreme.
I will never want to hear that as an excuse. And even mental health is never as an excuse for bad behavior. I do not want to hear that. I don't even want to begin hearing that. We can understand you for your hormonal imbalance, but we will never use that as an excuse for bad behavior. What kind of nonsense is this? Who raised you? Your own mother even pushed you out for not behavior like this? Seriously, a poised woman knows, and she knows indeed, I know the times of month, I know indeed, this time, I know I am vulnerable for a certain type of man. So I avoid that because I'm in my ovulation period or something like that. I know I am also prone to even now acting erratically. So I behave in a certain way. You are a grown woman, behave like it and recognize that indeed I am not in a state in which I can be a responsible human being and not in any just behavior. We're going to allow such behavior to be done in public. You throwing even used pads on someone else's face and say, it's because of my hormonal imbalance. Nonsense. Call out foolishness when you see it. And if she needs help, let her go seek it. That is never. I would call out bad behavior when you see it.
I want to anchor back the conversation. Actually, I am the one who has brought up the issue of extreme PMS.
Yeah.
Because I am not in any way saying that her behavior was correct. It was so extreme and absurd that I'm trying to understand what would make somebody really behave like that. Like I'm also trying to understand it. And that's why I started by saying that I watched a BBC podcast the other day. It was featured a couple of years ago, and I remembered, I even looked at it this morning before we leave the conversation. I'll give you the name. This girl, she was so extremely angered that she burned down their family homes twice. And she even locked her mother inside. She wanted her mother to burn inside. And she was taken, the judges took exactly the same stance that you have taken. She was jailed for a couple of years, and her father took upon himself to go and check why. And now if you go to the UK, extreme PMS can be used in the court of law as a defense, and it will be accepted.
Let me say something.
And I think this is what this woman was suffering from.
Let me say something, Dr. C. First of all, I agree with you that that could be an issue. I agree with you that bad manners is bad manners. But this is the point. I feel like things don't just go wrong. Yes. They start wrong. Because you don't tell me that this is a 30-something-year-old person. One day is when she decides that, oh, PMS can happen. Or one day, that is the time she can decide that, oh, I can have mood swings enough for me to throw a used pad. No, that is not the case. This is the point. This lady crossed the line. And it was very wrong, and it was very absurd, no matter the situation. And let's not blame mental health. And this is why I always say this. When a seed is planted, you don't wait for it to grow. When you realize that there's a problem, I will start with anyone who knows this lady, I know she can act like this. They would have known her problem from the beginning, like she has mental health issues, her body reacts a certain way because of hormonal issues. So at this point, there's nothing excusing her behavior. At this point, if it was something that if we say that this is the first time, like since she was born, this is the first time she's gotten angry. But we all know for someone like you're saying the 18-year-old, for her
No,
to have
so
gotten there,
at that point,
the parents were somewhere sleeping when they saw this child can get angry. Oh, it's okay, throw tantrums tomorrow. Oh, you can get angry. It's okay. If you keep cultivating bad behavior, even in your 80s, even in your 50s, even in your 20s, it grows and grows and grows. It's not going down. So this woman was very diabolical in the first place, and she did not even have any consideration of how she is shaming other women out there. Those are things we don't show in public.
So go and read
That
the
is
story.
wrong.
I want the viewers to read the story of Nikki Owen. And you know, look, the issue, I just
Oh,
brought
yeah,
in
how
because of the sanitary pad, and I thought, I'm not excusing this woman's behavior.
the court
I'm
measure
trying
the
to
other?
understand. Go and read the story of Nikki Owen. Yeah, go and read her story before you pass these, and I
So-
want the
so-
viewers to read.
So,
Yeah.
Dr. C, first of all, this woman is mad. Stupid. Is an idiot. Because for one reason, you go to a passport office for visa, you know a Schengen visa where it takes you, you know the UK visa where it takes you. So you go and get the UK visa, you lack the Schengen visa, then you force the airlines to take you to a Schengen country. It is madness. It is stupid.
That's why I'm trying to
Let me tell you,
understand.
it
It's
is
madness,
stupid.
I know
really.
you are an
It is
empath,
very,
but in this case,
very
Am I an
stupid.
empath?
Yeah,
And
you are trying to get
let me
into her
tell you,
feelings and understand
Miss
her
Omisore acted stupidly in the highest disregard of any laws that govern travel. She flew from, basically she flew from Mohammed Mutala Airport in Lagos.
How did they allow her?
Came to Nairobi because she has a UK visa. She demanded from the airport here to be flown to Paris, Charles de Gaulle Airport. The lady at the counter said, but you don't have that visa.
Yeah.
Why don't you fly you? Because eventually you are flying to Manchester.
Yeah, you reach there.
If you go to London, you'll take another flight to the northeast. It's simple. Now, she insists, and this is why I find the way the entitlement of most Nigerians comes in and checks in, that you decide that this girl doesn't know her job, you want to be flown to Paris. This girl knows for sure you will not be accepted at the gates. You'll be flown back. And then you say that you throw a tantrum, you throw used towel and all this nonsense, and you expect us to sit and pass that as someone who really is important to us. First of all, you just need to be flown. And I congratulate the Kenyan government for deporting such a character back to Lagos.
Yeah.
For him to learn a bit of manners, to come back to the country when she respects people. You must respect the people you find. You must respect the environment you work in. You cannot just wake up and decide, I will force this girl to fly me to Paris. And this girl is telling you, you can't fly to Paris. You have no Schengen visa. It is simple. You cannot travel without documents. So it is wrong.
That's true. Even just to add on, you see there's this weird high-handedness that some customers may have, or some people when they're receiving a service, just because they know the owner or they know someone,
madness.
they come with a level of high-handedness. You should serve me first the wine because I know Dr. C. And you should make sure that my wine is delivered to my door, even if I've not even paid shipping or whatever. And you should make sure this and this happens when I walk through the door. There should be a red carpet just because I know who? Dr. C or the owner, or I know the minister. That is now the level of mentality that some people may actually have, and a lot of people do, and they try to now use that as a form of coercion to now get people to act them accordingly. That right there would not even get you anybody to want to work even with you, or even want to serve you accordingly. They may even add spit in your wine, just so you know. That is the truth. That is the truth. Am I lying?
But I know Dr. C, it will be delivered.
Yes, it will be delivered. And even in this month of love, even I just want to even final story. Even it brought
That's a
up.
strategy. Humanity sometimes employs different strategies. Anyway, the month of
But it
love.
doesn't. But it doesn't know. But it's actually the weakest form of strategy. The best form of strategy, if you just want to add on, even as we talk about the month of love before you say it, the best form of strategy to actually get someone to actually do what you want them to do, is make it their ideology that indeed following your lead is the best for them. as we proceed, there's some people you have manipulated to even buy you chocolates and wines and other things in this week of love that is here as a form of expression of love, because you have been manipulated to believe that indeed this is how love is expressed. But there's no other better way to express our love than getting what? A Samantha's wine. You should try to do that, because indeed I'm looking for love. As Dr. C said, that love letter, make sure you do it. Remember that. But now, even as we go down this way, is our gifts, even the various gifts that even we may want to give in form of even love and everything. Usually in Valentine's, would you not say that it also depends on the stage in which your relationship is in that comes in when you are even thinking about even gifts? What are your thoughts as people who are married? You know, this panel over here. As Simon now, this is a Simon show. I'm interviewing 3 married people here. So now, as people who are married here, I would just like to even understand, please tell us, the people who are outside of this marriage institution that we are so scared of. Tell us, starting with Maria, the youngest one here, as you can see, author here. Welcome, Maria, to our show. So please tell us, when it comes to even Valentine's gifts, how many times have you given a Valentine's Day gift to your husband?
Wow.
Go ahead, tell us.
Men love socks. So anyway.
Wow!
let me say something. Let me be honest and say something. I think dating people actually are the ones who overdo on Valentine's. Married people do not. Married people go for thoughtfulness on Valentine's. Like, you now know what I want. You now know what I love. That is what you give me for Valentine. But dating is when you would receive flowers and chocolates and things that you actually do not need, but because they are wooing you, so you are the one who should be buying those things. But at the same time, I feel like if you claim to be in a relationship with me, okay, in this case as Maria, if you are married to me, you have to make an effort. I know, and mind you, when you're married to someone, you know their financial capability to some extent. Maybe you might not know totally, but to some extent you know. And you know very well that there are things that don't need money. And I'm saying this to those that actually, you love someone so much, but you don't have the money. Let Valentine not be the reason why the relationship becomes on the rocks because of it. No, you actually can do simple things. Like, in my case, I love foot rubs. That's a good thing. You don't need to just go out there and start buying me expensive. Simon. Simon, you are buying flowers, not my feet. So you should do some things, thoughtful things. But to be honest with you, I would not let Valentine pass. Like, it just passed and I'm in a relationship. Everyone is posting things and my work is just to do wow like an ambulance. No, I just need to enjoy that day. Something small. Make an effort. That's all I need. I'm just putting it out there though.
Wow.
You know, other than when we got married with my husband, other than the laws of Kenya, the contract you sign, we also have a marriage contract. Yeah, whether it's said or simply understood. This one is simply plain, clear, understood. My husband says, St. Valentine's Day is just about business. It's about the business people, the chocolate manufacturers, the flower industry. That's what it's about. So we do not celebrate Valentine's Day. Like I have really tried. But then when it's my name's day, like International Women's Day is very big for my husband. He takes me out, he tells me, like it's really, truly, he thinks it's a very important day. We have names days, at least from where my husband is from, Hungary, which was a deeply religious Catholic nation. In fact, I don't even think there's any other religion there. It's just Catholic, yeah? So we have name days. We have St. Andrew's Day, which is my husband is Andrew. We have St. Philip's Day. We have St. Catherine's Day. We have, there's all those days. There's St. Charles Day. You know, Charles Luanga. Is a saint, so there's a day for him. So every day has a saint.
You've not said St. Maria.
St. Maria's Day. Yes. So on days like that, you are loved on and celebrated on. But this is, okay, St. Valentine's Day is about love. So, but I want to say something on that. As an aspiring influencer, social media influencer on certain things. I may do. So there is what deeply in our relationship, what keeps us, which you may never see anywhere, not on any TV station, not on any social media network. But there's what I want you to see. And indeed, you said something. And people are just posting things. So a lot of people are celebrating this because of unboxing. That is just really, truly what it's about. To show where you are taken. Oh, I was just sleeping in a bed of roses. I was just like, people, it's actually for show. So if you want a show, I can give you a show.
Please do.
Yeah. A show of like my husband sent me, I can even send to myself. Nidanganye. Yeah, you can say to yourself.
And that's why I appreciate the non-financial gifts on Valentine's.
1,000, pieces of roses. Yani, this is the month of, okay, if you can get, yeah. So the thing is, because I like authenticity.
Yeah.
If you see me posting anything, just know it's for what I want, what you guys think I should be doing. But now this year, my mantra is, I'm just going to be me. I will do what I think. And I'll be who I think I am, as opposed to what other people think I am. Because if you continue to live on that...
Hey, well put.
So, it's very interesting that about St. Valentine, because many people think that Valentine is when you showcase a lot of stuff. But to men, it's always very dangerous day because you spend a lot of money.
Yes.
So men out there must be very careful not to spend money which you do not have on flowers. And I've seen, there's a day I was escorting a friend of mine, and if you're a man and you've never bought your wife these things, please do not buy.
What? One?
Flowers, if you don't bring them. Don't just wake up one day and take flowers to her. She'll think you are taking to somewhere else and you have just miscalculated.
Or preparing for a funeral.
Or yes. So now the guy bought flowers and said, oh, let me take to my wife. A very big politician in this country. When he reached home, the wife called me. Huyu mtu amenunua hizi flowers alikuwa anapelekea girlfriend yake alafu akaniletea hapa. I'm like, wow.
It's taken too long. This lady is tired of waiting.
So now, if you're a man, if you do not buy your wife flowers, don't, as a rule. If you don't take her for dinner, don't.
Yeah.
Find a way of celebrating which she will not doubt you, that you are actually intended to take someone else out, and you are stuck with those things, and now you're giving to her.
Actually, even just to add on, let me even add on something even further. You see now, in these days, primarily packaged to even celebrate even, what you call even women and everything. Notice how they've not said anything that they've done for their husband on Valentine's Day. Men, here's the thing. Valentine's Day, here's what I want you to do. Men, love does not always have to be expressed outward to other people. You can also even have self-love. So now what you need to do is this. Buy yourself something. Yeah. You need to appreciate yourself.
A man's job is to provide and protect. Let's not shift things, Simon.
Sadly, the truth is, women like you don't recognize that you need to appreciate the man that you have in your life. And the thing is, a man, listen, and also need to learn the art of listening. The women are men. So, the key thing is, even men out there, when you're actually even learning to appreciate yourself, because it's very important, when you appreciate yourself, maybe then you can actually even see whether the women in your life actually even appreciate you. That is a very key thing. So happy Valentine's Day even to you as a man. I've learned to appreciate yourself, because one key thing even as men, we don't know how to appreciate ourselves.
And don't accept socks and
yes, we need to have standards. No. Let's have standards. Yes, exactly.
But those are the things you cannot.
Men need to have standards this time around.
Out there, do not expect to be bought for socks.
Or even boxers
or
anything.
Do not boxers. Use wallet. Please, men, make sure that those things are so yesteryear.
Yes.
Let her spend on you.
What would you want?
If she...
Myself.
No, you should know what I want.
Like what?
A trip.
Yes. There you go.
No, this
look at her mouth opening wide.
You know, men will follow the lead. And the lead is where love is. And love for yourself as a woman. A man is wired to love a woman who loves herself, not the other way around. There is no amount of money you can spend on a man to love you. Just love yourself, atafata. And we have seen the opposite is true. The moment you're chasing him, he will flee to where the love is.
Where the love is.
Yes, love yourself. This Valentine, jipenda na ujipende.
And put yourself in a position to accept gifts.
Yes, self-love. Yes.
To accept this from
Lovable.
who? From the man that even you're not showing an appreciation to. Hey man, don't listen to dating advice from women. Well, you'll be there single by yourself.
Yes, by the way.
Hey, you'll be there single by yourself.
Don't do things which you don't usually do.
If you're aiming for a marriage,
Listen to that.
If you're aiming for a marriage, please take my advice. Yeah, 30 years married, I must know something. I know something.
Even CEO.
And by the way, it has been shown if Valentine's Day falls on a weekday, the amount of flowers that are bought and chocolates are more than when it is falling on a weekend.
Yes.
Because people just want to be spotlighted. Look what I was bought for. Look, so watu wengine wanajinunulia vitu, so don't follow what.
But that's what I'm saying.
Men, we need it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That those guys don't buy things if you.
Okay, here is the tip, guys. Massage and
So-
the rest of the things that are not financial.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Jipenda.
of course, and our viewers out there, we had a good one. Of course, Simon, in his madness, he said that people are raised badly, and bad behavior is not excused.
Yes, there's no excuses at all. No excuses at all. And even men, self-love is very key because 90% of these flowers that women get, they're buying for themselves. You see. So now that's the way it is. And
I'm saying, jipende upendeke.
Okay. And that's
With a bottle of Samantha wine, bring
Exactly,
us
there it is.
a bottle of Samantha wine. We have offers running, and the best love letter to Simon.
Yes.
Oh, he's getting married, yeah?
Yes.
Sure.
You're married him off. Yeah, get a
Getting
bottle of
married.
wine.
And I'm saying that Valentine's Day, be safe because November we don't want to see cries about
It's been real. It's been good. It is bigger. It's the biggest show. Keep watching it. Let's be real.
Samantha Wines, now available in all the leading wine stores.